how do I know if I should raise my rates for my services? So in fact, since we have some people here live with me, I'd also love your input as to whether you raise rates. How do you know whether you should raise rates for your services? And I will weigh in as well. So although we don't know at present if we're talking about hourly rates or flat rates for services, one of the best indicators that it's time for a change in rate is if there is a change in value. And this can actually work to help enlarge or reduce the size of an engagement. And I can tell you this, when you voluntarily reduce the size of an engagement because you realize that the value is out of whack with what you're charging, it actually inspires loyalty. The key is alignment is really crucial for long-lasting relationships. So if you're charging X dollars a month, let's say, and then we'll get to hourly rates in a sec. If you're charging X dollars a month for ongoing services, or for a typical project, you charge X dollars. And you're doing your conversations with your clients, your quality assurance calls, you're talking with your customer base, and you're asking the questions to get the data. What's the impact of our services? And if you're not doing this, start doing this. And you can send me some private messages if you want to find out what our quality assurance process is and what questions we ask. You can copy them. You can use them as inspiration for your own. You can trash them and start from the beginning. But ask for them and I will give them to you. And we ask the questions and find out more about the impact. If the services that you provide are of such a nature that you also see, you witness the results, then you'll know that for yourself. Are the people you serve getting greater value? If so, that could be an indication that it's time to increase your fee. For example, if most clients get, let's say, a financial return on investment on your services, and let's say most clients get a 4x return on investment, and you have one client who's getting an 8x, could be time to increase your fees. If you're finding that across the board, most clients are getting, let's say, a 6x return, then raise your rates across the board. And even if one or two clients go elsewhere because they decided to be price sensitive, and they're, even though they're getting a 6x, they're not perceiving that. When you right size your rates, even if you lose a couple of clients, at the end of the day, you'll come out in a healthier position. Now, granted, I don't mean to imply that clients are a dime a dozen. They're our gateway to making a difference in the world, an important difference. So what I've just provided is a pretty summarized way to go about doing it. You don't want to just be, hey, we're raising all our rates. If you stick with us, you're right. There's a conversation around it, which we're not going over right now. There's a way to present it. But anyhow, that's an indicator that it might be time to raise your rates. Similarly, if the value is shrinking, it can actually be a great way to continue working with a client, to acknowledge things haven't been going as you anticipated, or you decided to zig instead of zag, whatever it is, and you were getting a 4x return, but now it's pretty much dollar for dollar, or you're not making use of our highest level in our service package. So why don't we make this formal? Let's scale back our services, pay less, and get value from what you're receiving from us. If you don't do that, the client will. And you know how they're going to do that? By just leaving you. And if you don't mind, then that's okay. But if you do mind, then be proactive. Have the conversation first. And always keep an eye on where the value that's being received by the client is in alignment or out of alignment, higher or lower, with your services. The only other thing, main thing that impacts whether you should raise your rate, if you're charging hourly and if you're faster, then raise your hourly rate. someone, a prospective client who at this point knew that my team and I could solve their problem and could do so efficiently. And also we were very well recommended, so the risks were practically non-existent in the relationship. And he said, can you match an hourly rate that I was quoted by another consulting firm, which was about 20% less than what I'd quoted? And long story short, what I communicated professionally and diplomatically amounted to this. A lower hourly rate doesn't mean lower bottom line. It doesn't. Part of what pushes my rate up is that I'm fast. No, I'm not inclined to change my rate. And by the way, and I didn't say this in this communication, but I'm speaking this to you right now. Someone who has a higher rate because they're fast, it's not just to be dollar for dollar equal to someone who's charging a lower rate but is slower. If someone is charging a higher rate because they're faster, you're also getting it faster. You're getting your reports or your deliverables or your transformation or whatever it is that you're buying, you're getting it faster. That has a higher market rate because you can do something with it then, right? You can eliminate the pains or seize the opportunities or whatever it is that is the reason that you're seeking this service. And also the risks are lower. The longer and more drawn out a project is without certain other things in place, the higher the risks. But the quicker a project gets done, the lower the risk. That has risk, and in a financially healthy relationship, business relationship, risk and financial dollars have a clear and distinct relationship. So that's my spiel about pricing for hourly rates.